Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Books. This is episode 4. Remember Corey behind the camera, he'll be asking me some questions after I talk a little bit about the book here that I am holding. But I want to give you a little brief synopsis of it. This is called The Clinic. You may not have heard of it before. It's a pretty new book, very new. But yeah, don't know if you've heard of it before. It was just recently published. This is by Cate Quinn. She does have a few other books that I have not checked out yet, but I'm definitely intrigued now after reading this one. This falls into the thriller category, if you can't tell from the very creepy cover here. I am absolutely obsessed with this cover, and I will give a plug here for Aardvark Book Club is where I got this particular book from. You can obviously find it elsewhere, but I definitely recommend Aardvark as a book subscription. I've subscribed to them for over a year now, and they are excellent. I definitely am picking up more books that I maybe wouldn't have otherwise, so that could be another reason you haven't heard of this one. They bring a lot of like obscure books to the forefront and bring attention to them, so I really love the book club for that reason. So again, this is a thriller. This is set in the Pacific Northwest, I believe, is the setting here. And again, you can see on the cover here, it's a very creepy looking clinic, kind of like on a cliffside here. But the story follows two estranged sisters. So Meg is our main character in this. However, it is told from different perspectives. So if you like that, I do enjoy that in a book. But Meg is our main character. She is a poker player, so she's great at putting on that poker face, is a good liar. She has done some undercover things before, so she ends up going kind of undercover into this clinic where her sister was being treated. So it's a rehab facility, and it's meant for famous people specifically. So her sister was struggling to be fully famous, but was famous enough so she was able to go to this clinic and seek treatment. But it turns out she dies, so you find out that very quickly in the book. I'm not giving anything away, it says that on the book, that is the synopsis. So Meg finds this out, but she was like, something's fishy about it. I don't think it was a suicide. They were trying to, say that it was a suicide. And she's like, I need to go here and figure out what's really happening. So she goes undercover. And then the irony of it is that she's an addict herself. So she really does actually need legitimate treatment, but that's not the main reason that brought her there. So yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say. I won't get into it too much more than that because I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, it gripped me right away from the first page.
Mm-hmm. What was your overall opinion of this book?
I absolutely love this book. I knew I was going to love it, so I wasn't shocked in the least that I was enjoying it, right from the beginning, like I said.
How did it make you feel?
This was like an edge of your seat thriller, in my opinion, so I couldn't turn the pages fast enough. I definitely, so I guess if you're looking for feeling, I was curious. I wanted to know what was going to happen next. But I also really felt for the characters in this book too. Like, it was very character driven. There was still, I feel like, a lot of depth to the book, even though it's a thriller.
Would you recommend it?
Absolutely. I've been recommending it to everybody. I can't shut up about it. So yeah, I want everybody to read it. Even if you don't like thrillers, I feel like you still need to read this book.
Why do you recommend it?
I think it's very gripping. It gets your attention right away. I am a sucker for short chapters. This book has short chapters. For some reason, that always makes me feel like I'm reading a book faster. I don't know, but it's when I don't have a whole lot of time to read and I can sit down, and if I have 10 minutes to read, I feel like I'm making a lot of progress because I can cruise through the chapters. So I really liked that aspect. I really loved just this author's writing style. I would recommend it for a lot of reasons. I think, like, if you're looking for an exciting book, something to keep your attention, this is definitely something I would recommend, especially if you're like coming out of a reading slump. If you've just like not been enjoying what you've been reading, this is one that I think could get you back into reading.
What was your favorite part?
Aside from the short chapters, because I just really, really love that in a book, I also thought that the twists were great. There were some plot twists for sure. There was one that I, kind of figured out at, an earlier point in the book, but it definitely didn't ruin my reading experience. But the twist ending, I definitely was shocked by and did not see coming. So I'd say I love that about the book for sure.
Did the book teach you anything?
I feel like it taught me about, it was like another one of those books like with family, because I know like a couple of other books that I've, reviewed already on here definitely had big family themes, but that sometimes even when you've been estranged from a family member for a long time and for whatever the reason, like I guess it's just never too late to patch things up or to try to find some common ground. I can't really relate on like the addiction theme of this book, but I do feel like even in life for a lot of us, like even if you don't need to seek treatment at a rehab facility, we still, kind of all have things that we gravitate towards, and maybe they're unhealthy habits. So I think it could maybe make you look at your life a little bit too and see things you could do less of, or decrease, like being on social media a lot, even though here I am giving a review on YouTube, but just, I don't know, setting boundaries in life is a healthy thing for sure. And then also therapy was a big theme in this book too, so I guess that could also, I don't know if it teaches you to seek therapy necessarily if you need to, but it could encourage you to, because I feel like it's becoming so much more normalized now of seeking help when you need it. So that was another thing I really liked about the book too.
All right. So I think I already know the answer to the next question, but how would you rate this book?
So I actually did not give it a full 5 stars, but very, very close. 4.5. I was like really teetering back and forth. And the only reason I took off that half star was the first, I was gripped from the first page, but I do feel like it still took a little bit for me to get into the story. I think it was enough for me to obviously want to keep reading it. But I felt like it was just like a tad slow. And then, that one of the twists that I could kind of guess somewhat earlier on in the book. But again, it didn't bother me all that much. So,
all right.
So pretty darn close to that 5 stars. But yeah, that's it. The Clinic by Cate Quinn. Definitely check it out and sign up with Aardvark Book Club while you're at it and get it through them.
Yes.
So
all right.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Here's George. Hey, Georgie.